Whew. Howdy guys, it's me again. Sorry if it sounds like I'm all out of breath. I'm sweating kind of a bit too. I just got done with walking the dogs and it is hot out there, trust me. So, I gotta tell you, these cowboy hats here, stylish as they are and as much as a good job as they do with keeping the sun off of you, it traps the heat in. So, anyway, I decided that, you know, it's been a while, so why not record another episode review, another Penguins of Madagascar episode review. So I began thinking, what episodes can I review that I really like? Sorry. I decided, why not just try and compare some episodes with some things that I really enjoy. And so I did that. I went through some of the stuff I really enjoy, and I looked at some of the episodes I really like, and I found a good comparison, a good combination. Penguins of Madagascar with, you ready for this? Alfred Hitchcock, one of my all-time favorite directors. For anyone here who saw my review of The Big Squeeze, you know how much I love horror. And well, one of the reasons I love horror so much is because a lot of the classics, they use a lot of suspense. And you know something? Alfred Hitchcock was the master of suspense, as well as twist endings. So that's why I'm happy to say this episode of Penguins of Madagascar I'm reviewing here does exactly both. It has suspense and it has a twist ending. The episode, I Know Why the Caged Bird Goes Insane. Now, for starters, this episode is a parody of the movie Rear Window, one of Alfred Hitchcock's greatest films. Now, the movie Rear Window involves a man who breaks his leg and has to spend the next 6 weeks in a wheelchair. And so he's stuck in his wheelchair in his apartment, and so he has nothing better to do but spy on his neighbors. He learns some dirty little secrets as well as a few other things. But the most shocking thing to him is when he actually witnesses one of his neighbors committing murder. Yep, he witnesses one of his neighbors murdering a woman, probably his wife. I don't know, it's been a while since I've seen the movie. I can't remember all the details, but I know exactly what the movie's about. So anyway, in this episode of Penguins of Madagascar, it features Kowalski, who breaks his legs just as this big science expo is coming in. Now what's really sad is that this is something that Kowalski wanted to go to so bad, and yet in the end, he just can't. I feel bad for him in this one. Instead of going to Invexpo, he ends up in a wheelchair and stuck in the nursery. Now, it goes the way you would expect for anyone who's in isolation to go through. At first, he goes through it normally, then his mind slowly begins to deteriorate until eventually he loses it. Yeah. And so, of course, he thinks he's gone insane, especially when he frightens Private away. Now, here's one thing I'm just wondering. They got a nursery, but at the same time, we never see any baby animals at the zoo. Now, I've seen baby animals in plenty of Penguins fan fictions, and yes, there are a bunch of them I do like. But I'm just saying right now, why exactly do they have a nursery here if they never have any kids? Why are they showing it? It's mainly used as a plot device for the episode. It represents a jail cell. And that's pretty much what Kowalski's in right now. Especially with all those cute little bunnies everywhere. On the walls. Commodore Fluffington. He names one. So anyway, Kowalski thinks he's really lost it when he sees something coming down from the sky. Now this is where another one of my favorite Alfred Hitchcock homages comes in, is when we see the space squid coming down. that's our twist in the story here. The space squid comes down, and it turns out it's real. The real thing that Kowalski's seeing. He can't warn the others because, one, they think he's gone bonkers, and two, they're having too much fun at an expo. So, lucky for him, Marlene is... Sorry, guys. Lucky for him, Marlene is passing right by. He manages to get her attention by throwing a food tray at her, pushing a food tray at her, sorry, excuse me, whichever I prefer to say he did. So yeah, it's up to Marlene basically to stop the space squid. And she does for a moment when she manages to get a hold of his flying pad. You know, right after he steals Kowalski's finger invention. Hand finger technology. Yeah. Yeah, we all know how useful that is. I don't know if I'm being serious or if I'm being sarcastic. Anyway, moving on. So Marlene tries to get it back by shaking salt onto the squid, thinking it dissolves squids. It didn't. Marlene is captured by the space squid, so now it's up to Kowalski to stop it. And of course, he just gets pummeled by the thing. I'm sorry, Kowalski, but you are practically useless in this episode. I like Kowalski. He's an awesome character, a smart aleck, and a really lovable character. The thing of it is, he's kind of useless in this episode, except for the fact that he got Marlene's attention and distracted him. Well, I guess you could say he is useful. He does have his uses in this episode. He distracts the space squid long enough for Marlene to get her arms free and get a hold of the finger contraction that Kowalski had invented. She uses on the space squid, pokes him several times, and that scares him off. I'm sorry, this part of the episode is actually pretty stupid, where Marlene scares off just by poking it with a finger. I mean, come on. How weak is the space squid here? It is hurt by being poked and frightened off. Talk about weak. Oh well. Either way, it does scare the thing off and everything is happy. You know, the paint skipper and the others return, and of course we got a moment I really love where, for a moment, Kowalski and Marlene high-five each other with the finger invention and Kowalski's flipper. So anyway, how can I sum up this episode? I like it. I really do like it. Main reason being, it plays homage to one of my favorite all-time directors, Alfred Hitchcock. The guy was a genius at making suspenseful movies. And this tribute to him, this episode, yes, I can honestly call it a tribute to him, does exactly what you would expect of an Alfred Hitchcock film. It's suspenseful. It's got incredible characters. Well, these characters are always incredible. And my favorite aspect, how should I say this? It's got that twist ending that I've always loved in Alfred Hitchcock. So, that's about all I can say about this episode. It's a good one, and it's one I've seen 100 times, and we'll probably see 100 more before I get tired of it. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. So comment and tell me what you think, what your personal opinion on the episode is, and I'll see you around next time. Don't miss it.